The industry is stunned, and the streets are humming. Once regarded as impenetrable in some quarters, Jim Jones is currently facing criticism after 50 Cent made secrets public, which has caused fans to doubt his reputation, legacy, and prospects in the sport. Insiders claim that the disclosures are more than just small dirt. According to reports, these entail choices and deeds that might seriously harm his reputation, partnerships, and professional path. According to sources, 50 Cent's disclosures reveal a side of Jim Jones that few people have previously seen in public. From purported behind-the-scenes activities to street-level transactions that go against his public persona, both the street networks and the music community have been affected by the publicity. Peers and fans alike are discussing the implications of this for his career, with some speculating that credibility, influence, and trust may suffer significantly. The fact that 50 Cent conveyed the information with timeliness, accuracy, and an audience that guaranteed maximum effect just serves to exacerbate the humiliation. According to reports, Jim Jones is struggling with the aftermath and is receiving criticism from both industry insiders and ardent supporters. The dispute calls into question street credibility, loyalty, and the delicate balance between one's own behavior and public opinion in the street culture and hip-hop communities. This isn't your typical celebrity feud. Legacies may be defined by this collision. The conflict between 50 Cent and Jim Jones emphasizes the importance of survival, reputation, and power in a world where secrets are rarely kept hidden. The amount of hostility between 50 Cent and Jim Jones has never been higher. What began as mild teasing and arguments over rumors has turned into a full-fledged public scandal that might have long-term effects on Jones' career. Insiders said that 50 Cent didn't mince words, disclosing information that called into question some of Jim Jones's long-standing relationships and choices in the music business, in addition to casting doubt on his street reputation. Fans, peers, and even collaborators have taken sides in a debate that has swiftly become one of the most talked about, according to friends close to the situation, and the impact has been immediate. Disputes in the history of contemporary hip-hop. According to sources, 50 Cent's disclosures stem from personal behaviors, business choices, and street-level transactions that run counter to the image Jim Jones has built up over the years. According to reports, these revelations depict a person whose allegiance, judgment, and decision-making have occasionally been called into question. According to friends, a lot of people in the business knew about some of the behind-the-scenes activities, but their public revelation has increased scrutiny and spurred discussions about whether Jim Jones can still command respect and hold sway in both the music and street communities. The consequences of the exposure have happened quickly. According to insiders, some longtime partners are reevaluating their relationships with Jones, wondering if standing with him is still safe or advantageous. Fans are analyzing every claim and disputing its veracity on social media, which has intensified the controversy. Every day, platforms are inundated with memes, commentary, and fan comments, making it practically impossible for Jones to maintain narrative control. Friends say he is getting more and more irritated, knowing that how he is perceived by the public today greatly influences his future actions. According to reports, exposure has consequences for one's career in addition to its societal influence. According to reports, business alliances, joint ventures, and possible transactions are being reassessed. According to some industry insiders, labels and managers are worried about the long-term impact on his brand, particularly if his reputation and trust have been damaged in the eyes of peers and fans. Others point out that Jones' response or lack thereof may further damage his reputation. So the coming weeks will be crucial in deciding whether this controversy turns into a pivotal moment in his career or a setback that could be conquered. According to people close to 50 Cent, his plan for disclosing these secrets was well thought out, with the goal of making the biggest possible impact while maintaining his own authority and reputation. Friends say the 50 Cent has a history of carefully timing public disclosures to control the narrative, and this situation appears to follow that pattern. By revealing these details at a moment when public attention is heightened, he ensures that Jones is forced to confront the consequences head-on. The expose apparently contains information regarding dubious choices, private acts, and professional blunders that many had conjectured about but never publicly discussed. While fans and peers engage in heated debate about the ramifications, verified. According to insiders, 50 Cent's revelations are so detailed that they have left some of Jones' closest allies stunned. According to friends, some are banding together to support Jones, while others are pulling away because they don't know how to deal with the quickly changing situation. This dynamic has created an environment of uncertainty, tension, and speculation, intensifying the stakes for everyone involved. Fans and industry experts alike have chimed in on the matter. Social media sites are inundated with criticism, examining every facet of the exposure. From credibility questions to broader repercussions for Jones' career, some fans expressed dismay, saying that the picture they had of him is now questioned by these findings. Others are more focused on the drama itself, examining the dispute between two prominent hip-hop and street culture personalities. This is one of the most captivating tales in history because it combines professional repercussions, public humiliation, and personal treachery. Fresh recollection. Jim Jones allegedly acknowledges the severity of the problem. According to friends, he understands that his next actions are critical and that he needs to take calculated risks in order to protect his job and reputation. According to an insider, he is thinking about a number of approaches, including public pronouncements, private reconciliations, and strategic connections with supporters who can help him navigate the aftermath. There is a lot of pressure on him because the public and colleagues in the industry are watching him closely to see if he can take back control of the story or if the revelation will cause long-term harm. Sources claim that the exposure also draws attention to more general problems in the street and music communities, especially those involving loyalty, trust, and the fallout from previous choices. According to friends, the incident serves as a warning that power and reputation may be brittle and that private acts are rarely kept private in high-profile settings. For Jones, the exposure is not only about public embarrassment. It's about reassessing his strategy, re-establishing confidence, and figuring out how to move forward in a harsh and closely watched environment. Jim Jones is said to have suffered a great deal on a social and emotional level. Friends claim he has suffered embarrassment, frustration, and wrath in equal measure. He has been forced to face both his previous transgressions and present difficulties as a result of the mix of public exposure and introspection, establishing a highly stressful situation. Observers observe that Jones' capacity to react deliberately, tactically, and decisively will probably determine whether he can rebound or if the controversy signals a change in his professional trajectory. In the meantime, 50 Cent's part in the drama has improved his standing as a hip-hop storyteller and influencer. Friends observe that by revealing secrets in a deliberate manner, his timing, accuracy, and delivery of the discoveries show a deep comprehension of narrative control and public participation. In a way, he has increased his power while also putting Jones in a dangerous situation where he must deal with a barrage of criticism, conjecture, and possible repercussions. According to industry sources, the upcoming weeks will be crucial. Jim Jones's next actions, such as how he handles the publicity, maintains his connections with partners, and interacts with fans, will probably decide whether his job path stays the same or drastically deteriorates. Friends' emphasis that although public opinion can change quickly, the ramifications of these disclosures are extensive and could have long-term effects on relationships, credibility, and career prospects. The dispute between Jim Jones and 50 Cent is far from over as Part 1 comes to a close. A high-stakes struggle for legitimacy, influence, and reputation has been sparked by the expose. Every action and response is being intently observed by fans, partners, and industry insiders. For Jones, the difficulty is not only handling humiliation but also exhibiting fortitude, strategic thinking, and the capacity to recover trust in an environment where one's career can be made or broken by public opinion. Jim Jones's personal and professional lives are suffering on a number of levels as a result of the impact from 50 Cent's expose of his street secrets, which has only gotten worse. According to friends and insiders, the disclosure has caused tension in Jones' inner circle, making supporters and collaborators reevaluate their allegiances and consider the consequences of continuing in line with him. According to reports, some friends have removed themselves out of fear that being associated with someone could damage their own reputation, while others are unwavering in their support while advising prudence when navigating the storm. Sources advise using caution when navigating the storm. Specifics. 50 Cent's revelations went beyond sensational rumors. They purportedly draw attention to dubious choices, shady transactions, and errors in judgment that run counter to Jim Jones's public image throughout the years. Friends claim that although some of these behaviors could have been well known in smaller circles, the scrutiny has increased dramatically since they were made public. Jones is now in a situation where he must carefully manage his professional relationships and personal reputation in order to avoid further harm due to the mix of public humiliation and private treachery. The dispute has gained more attention thanks to social media than traditional media. Fans are analyzing each assertion, disputing the veracity of 50 Cent's revelations and making assumptions about how they would affect Jones' career in the long run. Some people are disappointed because they think the disclosures damage the reputation of commitment and sincerity he has built over many years. Others concentrate on the drama itself, examining the struggle as a high-stakes story that emphasizes the delicate equilibrium between public trust and street credibility. Image in the culture of hip-hop. According to an industry insider, the business ramifications are equally important as the social repercussions. According to reports, labels, collaborators, and possible partners are reevaluating current projects and upcoming agreements, doubting whether it is still possible to maintain alignment with Jones. Any apparent compromise of credibility might have long-term effects in a field where opportunities are directly impacted by reputation. Friends, take note that the revelation has produced an urgent need for damage control, highlighting the importance of careful public impression management and strategic communication for industry survival. According to reports, Jim Jones is aware of how serious the issue is and how quickly he must respond. According to friends, he is considering a number of strategies, such as making public declarations to explain or defend his stance, having private discussions with supporters to ensure allegiance, and making calculated changes to his commercial and artistic pursuits. Because of the extreme strain brought on by humiliation and professional risk, every choice he makes will determine whether or not he can take back control of his story. According to insiders, 50 Cent executed the expose with purpose and careful planning. Friends point out that the delivery and timing platform were all determined to guarantee the greatest possible impact by releasing these disclosures when public interest is elevated. 50 Cent successfully had Jones face the repercussions in real time, setting up a situation where recovery calls for calculated action and cautious reputation management. The circumstance highlights 50 Cent's power as a storyteller and performer who can create narratives that have resonance beyond current disputes. The disclosure has wide-ranging social ramifications. According to friends, discussions regarding accountability, loyalty, and trust have become more intense inside Jones' circle. Allies are assessing how previous choices and actions fit with their own principles and objectives, realizing that being associated with controversy might have negative effects on one's career and personal life. Everyone engaged is now cautious and methodical in their interactions due to the tension, ambiguity, and rumors about changing loyalties that have resulted from this reflection. Increases in fan interaction and social media activity. Increased pressure as well. Every day, platforms are flooded with memes, commentary threads, and live discussions that analyze every aspect of the war. According to friends, Jones must weigh the emotional cost of public humiliation against the necessity for a calculated reaction because the stakes are raised by the ongoing public scrutiny. Observers point out that the difficulty is not just in controlling perception, but also in being composed and credible in the face of rigorous examination, beyond consequences for one's career and social life. There are allegedly personal repercussions to the exposure. According to Jones' close friends, the disclosures have made him face his previous choices and actions, leading to a period of introspection and reckoning. The combination of public stress has increased as a result of judgment and introspection, with insiders stressing that handling this time carefully is crucial to avoiding mistakes or further escalation. Fans will be eagerly observing Jim Jones's future movements, according to sources, partners as well as prominent members of the industry. Every choice, be it a strategic alignment, a public declaration, or a personal reaction, which might affect how his job develops and how stable his relationships are. Friends' emphasis that any successful effort to lessen the effects of the exposure must include careful preparation, managing credibility, and utilizing devoted allies. The circumstance also draws attention to more general issues in street culture and hip-hop. Maintaining influence and respect still depends heavily on trust, loyalty, and authenticity. Furthermore, Violating these rules may have serious repercussions. Friends advise people navigating well-known, closely connected networks to take note of the debate as a lesson that private or public acts are rarely kept secret for an extended period of time. According to insiders, Jim Jones has taken a deliberate approach. According to reports, he understands that emotional reactions by themselves could make things worse. He is therefore actively controlling perception, bolster allies' allegiance, and develop long-term recovery plans. Friends emphasize that maintaining credibility in the eyes of both fans and colleagues in the profession requires striking a balance between accountability, transparency, and tactical communication. In the meantime, 50 Cent continues to play a significant role in the story. Friends claim that by disclosing private material in a deliberate way, his exposure shows a keen grasp of timing, narrative control, and audience involvement. In addition to claiming his own power, he pushes Jones to deal with the fallout in front of the public. This is the interaction between individual acts, public opinion, and industry repercussions continues to develop. Dynamic adds another level of complexity to the dispute. Jim Jones is under increasing strain as Part 2 comes to an end. Fans, partners, and allies are keeping a careful eye on him to see how he handles the publicity and whether he can regain his reputation. The disclosures have led to a reckoning that goes beyond humiliation, discussing long-term impact, social connections, and professional reputation. Every decision he takes in the upcoming weeks will have a big impact on how he responds right away and how he is seen in the street and music communities going forward. In conclusion, Part 2 emphasizes how difficult it is to manage career repercussions, personal responsibility, and public exposure. Jim Jones must overcome a complex obstacle that calls for cautious planning, emotional fortitude, and the capacity to remain credible in the face of rigorous examination. Setting the groundwork for the next chapter in this developing story, the stakes are high and the results are yet unknown. As the consequences of 50 since Jim Jones Street's revelation, Jones must deal with a barrage of public scrutiny as the pressure to keep secrets has only increased. Uncertainty in the workplace and introspection. According to friends and insiders, the disclosure's aftermath has sparked extensive conversations inside his inner circle, compelling allies and collaborators to reevaluate their stances, reevaluate TIs, and ponder the ramifications of continuing to openly support him. Sources claim that Jim Jones is handling the matter with a combination of strategy and care. According to friends, he makes conscious efforts to keep the narrative under control while safeguarding his career prospects and reputation. According to reports, these actions include strategic communication, intimate gatherings with supporters to ensure allegiance,